This just happened, guys. Nothing really surprises me anymore, but it's just like, I just have to tell someone about this. Me Too is just so real. Oh my God. This photographer, you know what? I'm about to get some tea. I need to get some tea right now. Okay. I have so many stories. My stories have stories. I'm not even kidding. And I feel like almost I should write a book because of all just the crazy things I've been through and done these last 4 years since I left the United States, because everybody wants to talk about how glamorous it is traveling, and it can be very glamorous and wonderful and amazing, and I wouldn't take back a single moment, but there are things that go down and it's just like, wow. If you like these story times and you're interested in hearing another story time, let me know by giving me a like and a comment below. If not, that's the only way I know that you are remotely interested in these types of things. So about a few months ago, this photographer on Instagram messaged me. He like slid into my DMs and he was like, hey, I really like what you're doing with your Instagram. I think you'd be a really great model to work with in Madrid. And he said like he's never worked with a person of color before, so he really would like to improve his portfolio and kind of add to it so he has like diversity and kind of can practice with lighting. So everything he said to me sounded fine, and I was, you know, me being an influencer, and if I want to get a professional photographer to take a session with me, that might cost $500. So I was like, this is great. So the exchange was photographs for his portfolio and photographs for me for my Instagram. Eventually, we met up in this beautiful park in Madrid. We did the session and it was fine. Everything was fine. I didn't get to see the photos. I put all my trust in him as a photographer to be capturing the artistic of whatever. Okay, I'm trying to like remember a little details. In general, we both have like kind of strong personalities, and there was a lot of things that he would say and do that I was just like since we were both alpha people, I could tell like if I let out my true me, then we would butt heads and have problems. So I was like, you know what, he's doing me a favor, this is a free photo shoot, so I'm just gonna like let him flow in his creativity as a photographer, and I'm just gonna enjoy the journey. Ooh, that's really good. In the photo shoot, we didn't really have much of a dialogue. You know, usually when people are photographing you, they're like, oh, do this, do that. He didn't do anything. He was just taking photos, and I was just kind of like trying things, and I didn't know what was looking good or not. But one thing he did always tell me was to not smile, and he was like, you look nicer when you're not smiling, which no one has ever told me in my life before, that this face is a lot more attractive than this face. No one has ever told me that, and maybe you agree, but so the entire photo shoot, every time I would try to smile, he'd be like, no, don't smile. That was one of the things that really drove me crazy, because I was like, okay, if this guy tells me one more time not to smile, I'm gonna like go berserk. Fast forward. Let's fast forward to the end of the photo shoot. The photo shoot went fine, as far as I know. I was happy. We went to different locations in the park. I even climbed a tree. It was nice. The next day, he sends me these photos. My God. I'm not kidding you when I say 60% of them were not even usable. They were blurry. They just a really strange angle where you're like looking at my nose. And let me get these photos. Oh, goodness gracious. You could just tell he didn't know where to put the camera, and it would have been a fine photo if he would have put the camera in a spot that would have been more flattering. He would just be putting himself in awkward angles where you could just tell that he didn't really know what the heck he was doing. I kid you not when I say out of the 400 photos that he sent me, only like 10 I could use. I don't know what the heck he was doing, but most of the photos, it was just like here and up, which I didn't understand, because I'm like, okay, I have this pretty outfit and you just have this of my face. And I was like, okay, I understand portraits, but literally 80% of the photos were just this of my face. And I'm just like, okay, it's fine. You know, everyone kind of has what their idea of artistic and beautiful, but why am I climbing up a dang mountain to get the shot of just this? We were like constantly changing locations, and we have all this greenery behind us, and he just has this of my face. And I'm just like, bro, why am I climbing up in heels? Why am I climbing up these mountains in this freaking park? And you're not even getting the park. You're not even getting the greenery. You're not getting my outfit. It's literally just this. So I was just like, what the heck? He would take a photo and I would blink or do something weird, or I'd be moving and he wouldn't even like look at the photo to see how it was. It was clear because in the pictures he sent me, you can tell that he didn't retake the photo. It wasn't like one photo of me blinking and the exact same photo of a normal shot. It was just like, he just completely just wasn't looking at the pictures because he was just kind of like, just clicking. By the way, I didn't go to the cops because I had a bad photo shoot, like, but this is gonna make sense later, I promise. At one point in the photo shoot, there was this beautiful tree and he was like, okay, why don't you climb this tree and lay down? Because I had this nice big long skirt and I was like, okay, I'm gonna lay down on this tree and I'm like posing and whatever. And then I get the photos and I was like, hey, I don't see the tree photos. And he tells me it's this photo and I'm gonna put it in this video. And I'm just like, bro, why did I climb up this tree? Why did I climb up this tree? Struggle to get up this tree just to get this, Like, what? Why? It makes absolutely no sense to me. And I told him, I was just like, you didn't even get the tree. Like, you can't even tell me the tree. And I was like, what's the point of getting in a tree if you can't even see the tree? If you don't even know you're in a tree? What's the point? Someone tell me, please. Someone comment in the description why you would take a picture and why would you get in a tree in heels, struggle, almost fall out, almost die. Okay, dramatic. To not even show the tree. And this is like, I don't want to go on for hours, but this pretty much sets the whole tone of the whole photo shoot. We were just doing the most, but then he didn't even like capture it. This was a free photo shoot. I didn't like it. I'm just gonna not do another photo shoot with you. Before we met up in the park, he wanted me to go to his house because he lives by the mountains and he has like a river and there's like a little bit of waterfall and it really would have been pretty, but it's like an hour and a half to get there. And I was like, no, this comes in now. But he was really persistent, like, let's do another photo shoot. I really enjoyed it, I just kept like brushing him off. And then I was like, you know what? Like, he is learning what things I like. I'm learning who he is. I should just give him a second chance instead of me being just like, you suck. So I told him my concerns and I was like, hey, like, I would be interested in another photo shoot if this, and this. Also portrait, but not just literally the entire photo shoot like this, that makes no sense to me. And also in the first photo shoot, like I told you, he would always just tell me not to smile. So all the photos look exactly the same, where I'm literally every photo, I'm like, exactly the same. And I was like, okay, I want more of a variety. There was like a lot of things in the photo shoot that he was making me do that just didn't look good. Like, I looked constipated. For example, this photo, I'm gonna put it up now. And he's like, oh, it looks so good. Oh, it looks so great. And I'm just like looking at later and I'm like, that looks like I have to poo. It does not look good at all. Maybe that's just perspective, but it was just really weird things that he just thought looks really good. And I was like, when he's taking the photo, I was like, oh, I'm feeling myself, like, oh yeah. And then I look at the photos and I'm like, these are literally horrible. So now he's like constantly messaging me like, let's do another photo shoot, let's do another photo shoot, let's do another photo shoot. And I keep blowing him off. And I told him like, okay, I would be up for it if X, Y, and Z. He agreed. He was like, yeah, okay, we can do that, whatever. But I'm interested in doing like a nude photo shoot with you. I noticed in the park, you're very feminine, you're very powerful. And I'm an adult, I'm not against nude photo shoots. I think, the feminine body is one of the most beautiful things you can photograph. But I was just like, that's not really content I want on my Instagram. Like, I already am in bikini, but I don't need to be showing all of that. I don't want my vagina all over the internet. He ended up unfollow me on Instagram. Now, I'm not like looking on every single person that follows me, but I noticed because I went to go tag him and he wasn't following. Oh, I noticed you unfollowed me. Are you one of those people that like follow and unfollow? And he was like, no, like I deleted my Instagram account, which had all of his portfolio and all this. And the reason why we're doing this photo shoot was for his portfolio. So I was just like, why on earth would you do that? And he was like, oh, some psycho was like harassing me and I had to I'm just gonna make a new account. Okay, There's always crazy people out there. Why would you just delete it because some crazy person? I don't know, whatever. This comes into place later. So at this point, he was still like, come to my house, come to my house. I have this beautiful nature walk and it's really gorgeous and you're gonna love it. You're gonna look really good with the trees and whatever. And I was like, okay, send me pictures of your house and other photo shoots you've done with other people and like, I'll think about it. He sends me the photos and his house was very normal, very normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But I was just like, to go an hour and a half to go to your house and spend an hour and a half coming back just to be in like a normal house, I was like, no. So he ended up agreeing to come to my house to do the photo shoot. In my opinion, I was like, I feel comfortable because one, the first photo shoot, everything went fine. I feel comfortable. I know where the exits are. I know where my keys are. I know where my phone is, and I know where my knives are. So if I need to like stab somebody, I know where that is too. So I felt comfortable him coming to my house. I didn't feel comfortable going to his house. We were doing the photo shoot, everything's fine, but then he's kind of still being like, we should do a new photo shoot. You would look fabulous doing a new photo shoot, whatever. It wasn't in an aggressive way. It was kind of like my ADHD kids when you don't answer them in the moment and they're just like, teacher, 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 teacher. And it's just annoying. That's how he is. I never felt this rapey vibe or aggressive. He's just really annoying. You have to be very, very direct with him. They just don't get it. They just don't hear you. So I told him again, I was like, I'm not interested in doing a full nude photo shoot with you. Like there's plenty other people that would do that. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that's just not the content that I want for my feed. So we do the photo shoot. I could just tell he just has no idea about angles. So I'm on the bed. So here's the bed, right? Like this. And I'm like going like this and whatever. But he has the camera up here. So I have to like go like this, you know, or it's just really awkward. And I'm like, dude, I'm like grabbing him and I'm just like, if you put the camera here, squat down, you can get like, the photo is more straight on than me going like this, and it's just really awkward. He didn't have any freaking clue. Okay, fast forward after the photo shoot. Again, I want to do a nude photo shoot with you. This is also for my content too, so you know, you don't have to post it. It's also for my portfolio. And I was like, okay, but it's my face, it's my body, like, you know, find someone. Like, I was just like, no. So he leaves. And once again, he nothing happened. Like, he didn't touch me. I didn't get this aggressive vibe. He's smaller than me, actually. Like, I'm only 5'4", but he's even smaller. I didn't get this like rapey or aggressive vibe. It was just, I want to do this. I want to do this. Please, 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 just the photo shoot, please. He sends me the photos again. And, oh wait, I want to show you guys this. I want you guys to come with me. Okay, this is my kitchen. Sorry, I did not clean up, so you can see like trash and stuff. There's my tea. So he tells me to sit on this counter here. He tells me to sit on this counter right here. So I sit on this counter right here. And he's photographing me all the way from here. So in my opinion, he's catching all of these things with the lights and the white and the everything. No, he sends a picture and it's again, just this. And I'm just like, why are you sitting here, taking a photo from me all the way over there? And then you zoom in so close to my face that you just see this, when you have all this to show and everything. Why am I on this freaking counter right now? This is like first world problems. Obviously having a bad photo shoot is not a real problem, but this comes in later. This photo shoot I even thought was a little bit worse because it would just be like a picture of my boobs, a picture of my arm, a picture of my leg. And I'm like over here posing, you know, thinking he's taking a photo of all of this and it's just like my arm, half my face. Like he was just like doing things that were just like, it's not creative. It doesn't look good whatsoever. Especially the blurry ones, I was like, why didn't you just delete them? Like, why did you make me download all these photos to my computer and there's like 400 photos? He sends me a message and he was like, okay, that's fine. Like, you don't like the photos. Like, we can do it again. Don't worry. You have 3 options. And so now he's not even asking me. He's telling me, he's like, you have 3 options. 1, we can go to the south of Spain and we can do a photo shoot on the beach, nude, and it's gonna be great. Second option, you come to my house, we do a nude photo shoot and it's gonna be great. The third option is we have a porno session. He said, have a porno session. And I'm gonna post these photos for you guys because you know what? Like, people like this need to be let out of the dark. They need to be put in the light because they're okay when they're hiding behind a screen, but no, I'm about to blast you. He was like, a porno session. By the way, this conversation was in Spanish and a lot of things get lost in translation. So I was like, okay, what does that even mean? I was like, does he mean a very provocative photo shoot, like licking bananas, or I don't know, something really provocative? Or does he actually mean intercourse? That was what I was trying to figure out. And either way, I was not interested, but I was just like, let me figure out who this person is. What can you clarify? And he pretty much was just like, first, you can start with licking and doing other things, and eventually it would lead up to sex. Okay. Why? I wanted to be nice. What on earth makes you think I would want to have sex with you? Actually, better question. What am I benefiting from having sex with you? Please tell me. Okay, fine, like you're a photographer, but like what am I getting out of this? Like why do you think I would just agree to that? Why do you think I would agree to that? You just came so far out of left field right now. Like, why do you think that would be okay? So then he was like, oh, you know, I have a lot of chemistry with you. You know the chemistry, you can feel it when we do the photo shoots together. And I was like, yeah, model photographer relationship. I've never messaged you to hang out. I've never got a drink with you. I've never eaten with you. We've only been in a model photographer relationship. So the chemistry you're feeling is model photographer relationship. That's it. That's it. Then he wanted to put the blame on me and was like, you knew I liked you. I constantly compliment you, tell you how beautiful you are and your eyes and this and that, blah, blah, blah. The most normal thing in the world is when you have a photographer taking photographs of you, you know, they're motivating you. They're like, oh, that looks beautiful. That looks great. Because the model then is very encouraged. So I was like, okay, that makes absolutely no sense. Like, what, you're just not gonna talk to me while you're taking photographs? Like, that'd be the most awkward thing ever. So I was just like, okay, I don't know how that makes sense in your kind of like pervy brain, but all right. Fine. And then he wanted to go into be like, you would really enjoy it. Like, I don't know why you're being like that. You would really enjoy it. That's not for you to decide. Anyways, moving on, because all the other part of the conversation is really just like nonsense of him just being like, I want his D or something, because it's like, so, okay, so then after he was like, okay, we don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You don't want to do that. Okay, it's fine. Just come over to my house this weekend and we can finish our nude photo shoot. What don't you understand that I'm not interested at all? 100% not interested in continuing another session with you. I don't want to see you again. I don't even know why I haven't deleted your number yet and blocked you. Like, I'm not interested. I literally told him in English, I told him in Spanish, and I even translated it into French because he speaks French too. And I was like, I'm not interested. So then the next day, which is now yesterday, this is now the meat of the story. This is like what all the police thing comes into play. This guy messages me on Instagram and says that Koke's Instagram has been flagged and taken down. And I thought maybe it has something to do with me and our conversation. So I was like, oh, whoa, like what's going on? And I was like, okay, he's a pervert, but you know, he doesn't need to take down his whole Instagram for me. And he was like, Koke, your photographer is not a real photographer. He tries to lure women to go to his house to do nasty things in his home in the north of Spain, like in the north part of Madrid where the mountains are. But he particularly likes underage girls. And I got goosebumps, like goosebumps. I could feel my hair standing up on my arms because I was like, oh my God. Because I let this guy into my house and we did a photo shoot and he could have been a really sick person, mentally sick, and he could have killed me. You know, he could have actually killed me because he was someone I've already met. I felt comfortable with him. Like I said before, he never touched me in any of the photo shoots. He was completely like professional, other than him being really annoying. Whatever the stereotypical pervert is, I didn't get that from him. I was just really freaked out and I felt really violated, and just like anybody would, right? Anybody would. So then I was like, but who are you? how'd you get my Instagram or whatever? And he was like, I'm the friend of the underage girl he took nudes of. And I was like, what? Like, what? And I was just like, what? Like, who is this girl? And he was like, he likes underage girls. And he's like, we found many other instances in Madrid with this guy, and he keeps deleting his Instagrams and deleting his WhatsApps and getting new Instagrams, like opening new Instagrams and opening new WhatsApp accounts. And he told me his WhatsApp doesn't have a photo, does it? And he didn't have a photo. And I was like, oh my God, this guy knows too much of everything I've experienced to not be real. Other than like, he did try to lure, okay? I mean, he was just like, we should do a photo shoot at his house, but he made it seem very normal, right? Oh my God, this is just so crazy. And I told him, I was like, this makes so much sense. He just asked me to have sex with him. He was like, you need to go to the police right now. You're the last person he's talked to, and the number you have is the most accurate right now. And he's like, you need to go to the police right now, and we're trying to catch this guy. We've been trying to catch him for the last however many months. And I was just like freaking out, like literally goosebumps. And I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And personally, he never touched me. He never did anything to me. So I was like, I'm fine. Like, I'm gonna sleep fine at night. You know, I was just gonna never talk to him again. Like, okay, he asked me to have sex with him, whatever. I'm an adult, he's an adult. I'm just never talk to him again. That's it. But when he told me about the underage girls, I was like, okay, I was a high school teacher, and I couldn't imagine any girl or any person being in that situation of being like lured into his house thinking it's gonna be a photo shoot and he's gonna make her famous or whatever, which is nothing he ever said to me. But I can imagine to a 16-year-old that's really like enticing. And then he is trying to get her naked and God knows whatever else he tries to do with him in the house. I was like, okay, absolutely. Like, I'm gonna go to the police right now and I'm gonna give them their number. We're gonna get this guy, I promise. So I go to the police. They were all men, and they just made me feel like it was my fault. And this is the main problem with society and gender roles and everything. It's always like, and usually from men, it's like, but women too, they wanna blame the woman. They wanna blame the victim. Like, this happened to you because you put yourself in that situation. Instead of putting the responsibility on the man, it's always like, it's your fault as the woman. It's his fault, he's a pervert. It has nothing to do with me, it's his fault. It's just so sick that people are gonna blame me. Okay, I'm an adult, but they're gonna blame this underage girl thinking like she's gonna go to a photo shoot because this creep. He's the one that is an absolute creep and doesn't deserve to be around children. He's a teacher. That's another reason why I really want to catch him, because he's around children. And that was really the sensation they gave me, like, you're a woman and you can't be alone with women. Just like men are all just animals and they can't control themselves, and it's your fault for being a woman alone with him. And it's just like, it was just really, I just felt really sick to my stomach. And this is probably why so many rape victims don't tell anyone anything, because you get people like that. They're like, it's your fault. Like, it's your fault you got raped. It's your fault this guy took nudes of you. Like, why did you let him do that to you? It's like, no, like, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna accept that. I'm not gonna say that I don't take responsibility of being in that situation. Like I said, he didn't touch me. I was one of the lucky ones. Did I learn from this situation? 100%. Do I blame myself that he's a pervert and he's a pedophile? Absolutely not. And neither should this other girl and all the other girls that he's, you know, done whatever with in Madrid. Yeah, he is a weirdo. I gave the police his number. I described what he looked like. I told him the details of like where we met and kind of like the logistics of X, Y, and Z. And that was it. It's in the police hands now, and we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments any experience you've had with weirdos. Unfortunately, I'm 99% sure that every woman watching this video has been in some weird situation with some guy, crossed the line. And unfortunately, that's kind of the reality we're in. And I feel like we're gonna be in this reality until we accept that men have responsibility and control of their bodies. And just because there's a woman around them doesn't mean they can just lose all control and they can just do whatever they want. Make men accountable for their actions. Stop putting the blame on women and victims. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I have an update. Oh my God. I've been keeping track with this guy Koke through this guy Luke, is the guy that messaged me on Instagram, and he has been found. Woo! The girl, the underage girl who he didn't know that this was all happening. He didn't know that they were trying to pursue him and all that. I don't know, maybe he did know because he kept deleting his accounts and opening new accounts. But pretty much she contacted him again and was like, hey, we should do a photo shoot. They got his address, and then wherever the meeting point was, the cops just came and arrested him. Yes, we have a win for justice. So that's really exciting, and just be careful out there, and I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next video. Bye.